Hi, welcome to Currency. This is the next episode, and let's see what we got today. I guess I'll just try to let this one fly. Basically, I make a joke that I'm the Antichrist, and people are like worried about my mental health. I guess that is the right response rather than to try to silence me because you're angry. Like it's kind of. I do it for my family just to piss them off because they're too, I guess, too Christian. They are a little bit like the family in the church that they're always doing good. Like they are always good, I think, as far as I can tell. And so I don't maybe want to ruin their shit a little bit, but and I got to see them at Christmas after announcing that I was the Antichrist, and that was I guess, well, it was awkward because they don't make it a joke, but that's kind of the thing about Christian people, and the thing I've been saying is that they only respond in criticism. And like, guess what? I said I'm the Antichrist, and all that they respond to me with is criticism, and that's kind of what I've been having happen to me for most of my life. It's criticism. It's just that when I was in the church, if I had stayed in there, if I had stayed contained by it my entire life, I would have been the criticized version of myself rather than the person that's like free and adaptable. But this one I'm gonna try to let fly. I'll try to let this one be free. But my family doesn't want me to have any power over the narrative. They don't really like that I do this podcast. They've been really trying very hard during all 148 episodes to this point of just ignoring it, and like if it does come up, just kind of shit talk it. But so like I went home for my Christmas, for my family's family Christmas, and they held an exorcism for me. They got the butt plug out that had a Sacred Heart at the end. They didn't think that they would ever have to use it. They were just sitting around, and then they saw that I uploaded the episode that I was the Antichrist, and they're like, oh, you know what, hey, get that butt plug with the Sacred Heart. They thought they would never have to use it. They're like, oh, dust that off, because when he comes home, we're going to have to put that in him and do some whatever, say some prayers. It was better. I'm glad they didn't use the one with the cross on the end. That would have hurt a lot more. That would have been more painful to me. So they had two of them. But I feel like that's already what happened to me. Somebody really should stick a cross up my ass, I think. But there's like not a lot of people are in a position to say that. I feel like I'm in a position to say that. Who else would be? And so like give me credit for that. Oh, an original joke from like that's my real life experience, because people might be like, "Oh, you have a stick up your ass. What's wrong with you?" It's not that, everyone. It's just, let me explain. I have a cross very far, very deep in my rectum. You can't even see it anymore. It's invisible. How would you feel if you had a cross permanently stuck up your ass all the time? It's like Mirena, that thing that women get, that like little plug plastic thing that they get to prevent them from having babies. That it's like the whatever. The thinking man's abortion or whatever. It's like the thinking woman's abortion. Like they use a practical tool beforehand. But I mean, Plan B or Mirena, I think that's what it's called, is Mirena, which is also like T-shaped. But like, and so nobody likes the Jews. But sorry about whoops. And everybody does, but they're like out of Egypt. They're gypsy. That word gypsy, its origins, that adjective means out of Egypt, that GYP. So, for example, like Jews are really gypsy. They're straight out of Egypt, straight out of Compton. They came right out of there, but so I'm straight out of the church, and people know it, and I've been Christianized, but I shouldn't get carried away. I have like things to say, because it's kind of difficult to take on the joke of being the Antichrist, because all the Christian people criticize you a lot. But the thing is that so I go home and my family is just kind of like talking shit to me, something that they do. They talk a lot of shit to each other, about other people. They make a lot of fun. They joke all the time. Let me explain about them. I'm not gonna roast them too much. I hope not. But like, you know, but they're calling me a fraud because I say I'm the Antichrist. They're like, the thing is that this is one of my main points today is that like, Christian people will take a joke that I make and then they will try very, very hard to make it not a joke because they love the narrative, they love the story, they put their souls in, they devoted their souls to a book, and so they're kind of like the story people and all that. But like the thing is that the world is an unfolding story, and like you devote your entire life to a book, that it's this magical thing, like the artistic expression of that. Well, I mean, whatever. That just like the world over, because of history, because history is dictated by Jesus and it's his story. They get the power of narration, but they're obsessed with the power of narration. They devoted their souls to a book. Like they love stories, and so what has ensued is like a story battle. But when I make a joke that's too hard for Christians to handle, which happens a lot because I'm the most dominant person in the room a lot around them, and they never recognize that. They just want me to be gay. Or at least like a lot of people from Wisconsin do. It's just that like, let me start off by saying it's not all the Christian people I know. For some of them, I really want to take the episodes down because like because their friendships have meant a lot to me. And like there's people in the church that like me, and I really shouldn't be saying I'm the Antichrist in front of them because like they were already on my side, and like basically it would make it that I might lose them, like the people that already liked me, because most of the time when I get on here I rail about Christianity, it's like I'm probably ultimately just talking about Christian people that I know. I mean, definitely like my experiences in churches, but I mean I've been in a lot of different churches, including ones where I didn't know like anybody for weeks and weeks that I was in there, whatever. I've seen a lot of different sermons, but I think that it's like perfectly valid for me to have a story, but they don't want me to have a story, because they don't want a sinner to have a story. And it's okay, Christian people, but let me get back to that in a minute. It's okay for a sinner to have a story. It's all right. Relax. You guys have had complete monopoly control over narration, the unfolding story of the world, and just in general to the people around you for years and years and years, like Christianity. But I'm just somebody of the belief that the mainstream media is really kind of just like religions. It's the church originates it. They're not. That's a big secret that they pull because they're very secretive. They don't want you to know it's a secret that they control the narration ultimately. But I like somebody who believes that. But like it'll probably keep coming back up because I really love this joke. Even if I take the episodes down, I'm still kind of like secretly want it to happen. Or like maybe then a more organic nickname can develop. I think it's like actually a better strategy to take the episodes down. But because it's like a secret, but also these episodes where I announced that I'm not anymore, very remorsefully. And because I have a lot of remorse, I just have a problem where I just like always joking all the time, but I just joke at a really high level. And but what it's just like in saying that I'm the Antichrist, I kind of find out this shit about social hierarchies that I didn't know before, where it's like I know about social hierarchies, I know about dominance, but I don't know my place in it before me saying that I'm the Antichrist, because it's just like it's just a matter of insecurity. I'm joking all the time. It's kind of what I come from. It's like maybe sort of like something my family does, but there's people in my family also that I like that I wouldn't do this for. It's not like I hate everybody in my family, but I guess I'm not going to name names. Like these are the people that I really like, but you know who you are. It's people who have loyalty to me. I do feel bad. Like it's not like, I'm totally heartless and callous, but my family all they like talk to me like, the thing is that I put all this shit out here, this knowledge, my arguments. None of them congratulated me on being the Antichrist, by the way. But so that's a sad story. I cried about it a little bit. I just like kept sobbing, and then I kept sobbing even more, and then I donated some of my tears to the St. Jude Children's Medical Center, and they poured them on a kid with cancer, and then he died. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what today is about. Today is about the love that I have in my heart, most definitively. But So, was that impressive? Do you hear that one? So, it was a lot faker the second time around because I was just trying to recreate something that already happened. Like, shitty music is when people are just trying to make something that sounds like something they've heard rather than just following their intuition about what they think would make a good song. But that's neither here nor there. Christian people, a lot of them, I mean, they kind of all act the same. Like, and that's why I end up like chastising them all the same on this podcast. It's because like I stopped doing my podcast for a minute. I told everyone I'm done doing this podcast, and then all different Christian people I know from all different times in my life that I met them, they all had the same response to me, and it was criticism. And because they're like, oh, his podcast is failing, we can totally destroy his narrative, his narratives are done, his narrative era is over, and now we're just going to silence him back into the fold. Criticize him because it's just like this narrative war that's happening but they can't take it because they're like it's really like I'm Chris Rock and they're Will Smith at the Oscars. Like, I make a joke and Christian people think that I'm like threatening their families or something, like they like take it that seriously. And it's because they're actors. They're like Will Smith is. They're actors. They've committed their life to acting and making poses, and because they've committed themselves to art. That's what Christians do because they're Christian every day of their life. It's an art piece. Like, they've turned themselves into a portrait, and it's like it's art. They're actors. They're committed. It's because they're like, I'm saying they give themselves over to art. They're like, we're a Christian every day of our life, and they do that to be shocking. And that's kind of the way that they talk about it in the church, is like, we will radically influence our communities just with the way that we are by committing to one title the entire time. But it's criticism is what they do. Is why I call them critics. It's what they're better than a number of people just because of their commitment to their art of like, I'm a Christian every single day of my life. It's a high level of criticism. It's better than people who are very negative and very critical that didn't commit themselves to a life of criticism. Christians committed themselves to being a life of criticism. We'll be a critic every single day. And what they criticize is just like personality, like being a person out in public, being somebody who could be different people. They're like, or like have hustles, making yourself successful in the world. Christians devote themselves to a life of criticism, give their lives away, a lot of commitment to the art, to be actors who pose as we're this. And it's very like, it's not that complicated. It's just like, they're making themselves look like Jesus. That's their pose that they do, but they might have their own look like Jesus pose that they do every single day. But it's still like completely reduced to that one, like, oh, we're going to act like Jesus, which is different from how anybody in the world has to operate. But they're like, we're going to be critics, and that gives them the win because other people aren't willing to commit themselves to a life of criticism because they're always better than somebody with a hustle who is like, I have this hustle, but then they go back. But then there's something else at the end of the day. They didn't commit themselves to one title. And like, it's I joke around a lot. I have a lot of insecurity. What I recognize is that I'm a part of social hierarchies. Like, I have friends that I made that like, I would take the episodes down just to appeal to them, and hopefully they would still want to be friends with me. I don't even know if they do. It's not like they tell me to take the episodes down or anything, but hopefully they would still like me and for being who I am. I feel like it's might not be possible, but I would still like, it's just that I might not be the right person for the job. The church did get to me while I was in there. Like, I made friends with enough people that it's like, oh, I have to act well in some regard for them, but like, I don't know to what extent. I feel like I'm gonna get out of Ohio because this ain't the right place for me. The place for people who say that they're the Antichrist is Austin, Texas. Like, so I really have to. I got to get out of here. I got to skip town, and because they're after me. Like, the people are after me. The Christians are, and because like there's a difference between dominance and being an alpha male is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not the most relatable person. The alpha male is the person who's the most relatable and most popular in a group that's like integrates themselves into the group the best, where it's like everybody in the group is willing to give them respect because they're like so well respected, or like they get respect easily from other people. I'm not that, and I'm not saying that I'm that, because there's a big difference between dominance, being dominant, and being the alpha male. I'm very dominant. I'm not an alpha male, because I don't integrate myself in the community, in any community, well enough. I'm not able to do that, or at least at this point I'm not. Because I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of guys that are dominant. I'm sure that you've seen them too. Guys that are dominant, but they're like, that's not getting them anywhere in society because they're not social enough, or they're not like champions of society, of being in a group. So it's like you can be really dominant, but it like might not pan out for you. That so those two things are different, and then that's one of the points. It's one of the points that I wanted to make. But like, I recognize that I'm a part of social hierarchies. That's why like I got to be nicer. I need to be more committed to being nice, because I've social hierarchies that I'm in that I answer to, and I didn't realize until I was said that I'm the Antichrist that like social hierarchies are definitely real. Like, I knew that they were real. It's just like I hadn't come to the point of saying like, oh, they definitely are real, where it's like there are definitely people more dominant than me, and definitely people that are less dominant than me. Like there are people that I have to answer to, but it's like kind of lower classes in society, and criminals have more trouble recognizing the hierarchy, or that there are social hierarchies. They kind of live in suspicion of it, or they're always questioning it. And that's something that I've been doing, is like, oh, anybody who is more dominant than me that's like talking to me like I have to answer to them, they're all liars, because that doesn't exist. You're just trying to control my life. But it's like, in reality, there are people that are more dominant than me, and they do have the right to try to tell me what to do. And so if it's like people that I know, don't take that idea and run with it. Is likely, I mean, I'm probably not talking about you. I might be, but it's like, that doesn't mean I'm about to listen to everything you say just because I say that. Like, oh, now I recognize the dominance hierarchy. I recognize that there's people more dominant than me. It's not a lot. It's not very many people that I would end up listening to, but like, it's because they care a lot. The Christians care a lot. They have communities. Like, Christians are their community is like that. Like their communities are really strong because they give a lot of power to the hierarchies. And Christian communities, I would argue, that are like come from a poorer background than a richer one, might have trouble embracing the hierarchy, or that it exists. And like, that might be one of their big achievements, is just like embracing the dominance is real. But like, this is a way that society organizes itself, is the people that are poor are people that don't recognize like the social hierarchy, because as soon as you recognize the social hierarchy, you are leveling up in society, because you get a lot of security from your friends. You get a lot of security recognizing that there are different levels, and recognizing who you should take advice from. It's just like a grown-up thing to do, to recognize the social hierarchy, recognize evolution. Is like, Christian communities that are more developed are have integrated evolution into their belief system enough to like embrace the social hierarchy or whatever. But there's just a lot of communities in the church that compete with each other. Just look at Protestant church. All of the different denominations are all like really separate from each other. They're like competitive with each other. Some of them are like, oh, all of the rest of the denominations, we don't have to listen to any of you. But they're all really competitive with each other. Lots of different denominations in the Protestant church, lots of different communities. And Christians kind of argue that they have like the best communities, and because they get together, and it has to do with like, they're willing, if they really take their convictions and their faith seriously enough, or like they go to church every day, like they're really committing to be a Christian, they are they're relinquishing their personalities and pooling all of them they're relinquishing their different personalities, different opportunities to be persons, and giving all of that to the same title to Christians, so that everybody is seen as the same under the same title as they do in the church. But like, this is a really socialist idea, Christian. Whatever, it's really socialist, really communist. This emphasis on communities. They have some of the strongest communities. Do Christians, and they do that by like making it very like, oh, you have to listen to the families that have the most power or whatever. And it's like, definitely you have to listen to the pastor no matter what. He has absolute authority over the congregation. Like they have strict, rigid systems in the church, and that gives them the power in some senses to say that we have the best communities, or at least even if they don't have the best communities, that's what they're convincing the rest of the world of, because the world is governed by society, which is an affront to capitalism. It's not governed by capitalism. Like there's this idea, the idea is that America is governed by capitalism, and then we're all like, oh, fuck capitalism, that it's ruining this country. America's just a big parking lot. When it's like, America, just like every other country in the world, is governed by socialism, because if you're going to succeed, you're going to succeed in society by being social and by following the rules. And I've for a very long time said on this podcast that the people who succeed the most in the world are the people that follow the rules the most and follow the rules in a community. But you're not going to get anywhere by being a problem in society. You have to integrate yourself into society. We're governed by socialism. You have to be a socialist, and you have to be social, and like everybody dictates like, oh, you'd have to be social or else we're going to deem you to be a problem. You have to be nice. You have to make yourself in with the nice people. You can't be mean. It's kind of like being a capitalist. Being a capitalist or an individualist makes you mean, because you're going off of your own means, to create what you're doing. Like, it's mean to be creative or present something that is against the group that exists in the world, present something that's against like the way that we already do things, what is certain and what is obviously and easily accepted by very many people, what is popular. It is mean to live a life outside of that, or try to, or be like, oh, I have my own things to present. I'm an individualist. That's more mean, because it has to be mean in order for it to continue to exist, because it has to have that motion. It has to have the ability to move itself. If you're part of a commune, you don't have to create your own motion, and you don't have to be mean. But like in the commune, it's all people that are nice, and the people that have like, we're giving ourselves over to be nice and be whatever, share in each other's narration, or like say that we're all the same. That's what to be nice, you have to be like, oh, I'm the same as everybody else. Like, I don't have a right to be mean. It's kind of like, I don't have be the same as like, I don't have the right to be a performer on a stage, like the individual who would get to say whatever. Like, don't be an artist saying that you have more to say than other people. Don't be somebody who says that you're smarter than other people. Like, we're all dumb, and like, no matter what, there isn't a world where we have to recognize the levels in intelligence or whatever it is. And, so it's just like a really socialist world in the church. But I'm somebody who lives in the church, and just naturally, but like, I keep the joke going, and I keep joking. And so like, whatever criticism that people throw at me, it's their Christians and whoever it is that's criticizing me for my actions. It's not taking hold. It's not covering me up. Like, it's not doing the trick, because I just like keep joking. And so when I'm sitting in my family Christmas, and I'm like in a mindset of like always joking, there's motion to that is like kind of becomes evident quickly enough in comparison to a bunch of people that are living their lives to be a still picture, be a still frame. But basically, I am in my family, like, I'm somebody who just naturally am not a Christian, but they've been like trying to make it that. Like, there are people that are Christian by nature that would be fine with all of that, but it's like I've just like been unnaturally one for a number of years, because I'm somebody who doesn't really love and doesn't really care. But it's more like, I don't care about criticism enough. That's why I just keep like coming back with more shit. It's because I don't care about it enough. I don't care about criticism enough, and I'm a careless person. But it's like carelessness is like stigmatized by the church for the world, because it's like, we all know it's a negative to be careless, but It's really like, oh, somebody who doesn't care. But whoever it is, the church or whoever, then people who, by association, the church influences, they've got everybody stigmatizing carelessness, like, oh, that's only somebody who makes mistakes. But it's not, we're not allowed to recognize, for some reason, it's never the interpretation of careless, like, oh, somebody who doesn't care. Because somebody who doesn't care is like the worst thing in the world, because the church wants everything to be communal, wants everybody to think that it's only doing something for the good of community that makes you a person, or like that's why there's just like so much talk of community. Society comes from the church. Like there's the phrase, this comes from the, I feel like it's coming from the church. That's the way that society is. Society comes from the church because they hold everyone to the standard of society with their communities, where they're like, we have really good communities because we pool our money, pool all of our personalities, meet every week, whatever, have this lasting commitment just to a community. There is a lot of, like, basically everything can be a community, and I'm not saying like communities in the world are worse than the church. It's just that like they discriminate. I think that the church is communist, and with a lowercase c. In other words, they discriminate by community. They will discriminate. I mean, they discriminate against the world's communities. They're like, yours are worse than ours because they're communist, lowercase c. And uppercase c, communism is the only communist we ever talk about, and it covers up the fact that you can be communist discriminate by community, the same as racist discriminate by race. There's people who discriminate against communities, like your communities aren't as good as us, and not necessarily Christians, but I feel like it's religions that are like, we have the power of community that are able to do that. And so but like a community, they run off of community and everybody sharing and like being, oh, we're not individuals that get to act of our own accord. We've given ourselves over to a group narration. And but like Wisconsin's, they're cheeseheads. What the fuck, Wisconsin? You have that commitment to art? What the fuck? We do cheese. What the fuck is happening with the Green Bay Packers? It's the cheese cult. It's surrounded. Packers, by the way, in case everybody doesn't know, it's like meat packers, people that pack meat and sausages and cheese in refrigerated trucks. It's the Packers. They're the cheese cult, and they're turning the football team into like the commitment to all of that sausage and cheese. And I think that they're again. There is like a war between the Wisconsin Badger community and the Green Bay Packer community, for certain. They can't accept both of them. It's kind of like both of them are arguing over like, we get to say what Wisconsin is, and like the Wisconsin that's the Badgers, the Packers want to be like, we tell you. It's gay what the Packers are doing, and they're leading Wisconsin into the cheese thing, which is kind of like more futuristic. It's faker, but it's like this commitment to identity is very difficult. We are cheese. It's something that no other state is doing. Idaho with potatoes does something like that, but Idaho with potatoes does something like that. Idaho with potatoes does something like that. But Wisconsin is the most of any of those states that it's like, oh, we committed to one thing, that they were like, oh, the rest of us, the nation looks at us and they're just like, oh, cheese. Wisconsin is doing a lot of voodoo in order to reduce themselves just to cheese for whatever fucking reason. I think that I'll tell you the reason. It's because that let me tell you the reason. It's because cheddar is a word for money, and they're going to make a lot of fucking money into the future because cheese is going to be around for a long fucking time. We took over cheese. Sorry, you can put cheese on fucking any food, any new food that gets invented in the future. People are going to put cheese on it. And who's the cheese state? Where does it come from? Oh, it's Wisconsin. Like, definitely it's a good identity to make, and it's going to make them a bunch of money for forever. And it's a gay thing that they're doing in order to bring themselves into the future. It's probably the case that in the future all of the states will have to do something in order to monetize, because it's all about the swag, it's all about the brand. Just like, oh, Wisconsin might be influencing the nation in this department, but it's like, you have to your identity. And the Wisconsin, because like the Wisconsin Badgers, okay, they are the team that everybody criticizes more than any other team in college football for not having an identity. And it's because of the Packers, because the Packers are doing this whole thing with like, we are the identity more than, I mean, like they're committing to the Wisconsin cheese side of the identity. And, but for whatever reasons, like, Wisconsin football has to have an identity. Why don't they? Because their identity is the running game, or it's like they're the only one with an identity in the entire nation. It's like, oh yeah, other teams, sometimes you're Texas Tech and you pass the ball a lot, but people aren't like, oh, Texas Tech has an identity, or they put pressure on them to have one. Wisconsin, even within Wisconsin fans are always crying about like, oh, Luke Fickell came in, now we don't have an identity. It's not a good thing to have an identity as a football team, because then everybody knows what you're going to do. Duh. Like, let's be the thing that everybody knows that we are, and that's why we ran Paul Chryst out of town, is because he listened to the media's interpretation of what Wisconsin football is supposed to be, where the media is like, Wisconsin runs the ball and they slow the game down and they're shitty like that and whatever. They make it an unwatchable shit fest for everybody else. We hate fucking putting them on TV, even though we do all the time because they have a huge alumni base, whatever. They give us money. We're going to talk shit to them and say whatever it is. Wisconsin quarterback always has happy feet, okay, according to the media. Every quarterback moves their fucking feet around. It's like, oh, look, he's getting happy feet back in the pocket. Because it's like, yeah. Yes, he is. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, he's not good. He's a Wisconsin quarterback. Yeah, we get it. He's not good. All right? Fine. Yeah. 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 No, but they're like, because Wisconsin is like, Barry Alvarez came around and they did this thing that's more unique than any other program in the nation, where they're like, we are majority run. We aren't like Army where we run every time, but we're just majority run, meaning that they pass enough. They pass a lot. Like, they used to pass a lot. They used to pass almost as much as they run, but they just like ran like 60% of the time. But then the media is like, oh, Wisconsin always runs the ball. We figured them out. And Wisconsin fans fucking fell for it, or enough of them did. The shitty hater fans that aren't like the truest fans are like, oh yeah, we run the ball all the time. We listen to the media is telling us what to do. We need to listen to them. And Paul Chryst caught wind of it, and he's like, oh, he's not smart enough to see around to create his own narratives, but like, he's like, oh yeah, we do run the ball every time. And so then he just started to get into this thing where every year he would have his team go out there and run on first down and then run on second down, and everybody knew that they were going to do that. And then, oh, now it's 3rd and 6. And you have a shitty quarterback, and oh, he throws an interception because everybody knew he was going to throw the ball. Didn't help his quarterback out at all. That's why we ran him out of town. Okay, they don't need to have. They don't like. Oh yeah, maybe they should be a running team always. Maybe that is like their identity or whatever. It's just that you don't want to be identified. You don't want to be definable. The teams that win are the teams that you can't predict what that we're going to do. That's what sports is about. That's what football is about. It's the team that is the most undefinable is the team that's going to win the game. Team the most players with the most undefinable talent, where that you can't recreate anywhere, that are the best at what they do, that's undefinable. Oh, we can't find somebody like that, whatever. That's that's not identifiable. Lesser talent is more, we've seen that before. We can define that. Oh yeah, that's just a guy that runs this fast. So if you don't have that much talent, the freak athletes, you need the rarity of that in order to be successful. You need the rarity of some sort of exceptional strategy, game plan, or like, oh, we do this and nobody's ever seen that before. You have to keep adapting. You have to be ahead of the whatever. You have to be you can't have an identity. But for some reason, the media all fucking wants Wisconsin to have an identity because they're fucking, we fucking hate this team. We want them to be definable. Like, their quarterback is the one that sucks and whatever. ESPN especially, because ESPN is like, oh, let's joke about Wisconsin or whatever, because they have people like me who get on here and get like upset about it. Yeah, but like, I'm over here, you know. Do you want to care to look in my direction and hear any of the jokes that I have to tell? Do you fucking care? Does anybody want it? I know that you don't need it. I know you don't need it. But like, hey, my parents, you pay for me to go to like hyper private, hyper special school, and I'm like, oh no, man, take it. Like, oh, but no, we fucking hate you. Please silence yourself. Everything you do is a joke. We don't have to listen to any of it because we're so intelligent. We're so much smarter than you are. You just like fell for something that your friend told you. because you're stupid. They always got to paint me in the most negative light possible just to communicate to me that you don't have any power over narration because they're fucking the storybook people. But like, I love those storybook people. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. And so, but clearly now it's just like, I'm getting a little carried away. Like, oh, look how crazy and fast I can talk and all that fucking crap. Like, there's only so much you can do when you're just recording yourself. But it's like, oh, what if it was possible that somebody just like recording themselves in their room had something interesting to say? Because it's like, it's me just because it's like, what's so threatening about a guy just sitting in his fucking room with plain walls saying these things? You need to take your family member that you've seen 32 years consistently, somebody that comes back to visit you because he's nice. You got to take that person and say that, oh, you're just doing evil things. You're threatening our way of life because you're talking and recording yourself, and then because you have a social media, like, oh, I can't have a social media? Like, what is, are you going up to any of your friends, even people you hate, and saying, we don't like your social media, you're a fraud for having this, what you post sucks, whatever? Nobody's even like, sorry that I have a social media family, sorry about it. Like, oh no, I wasn't a fraud before, certainly no. I've always been just like the most, like, the world would read nothing but authority into this because it's a guy talking in his room. It's not even the most popular format. It's not the format. People aren't ready for that. People ain't ready for this, dude. And yeah, I do go on stage and I do stand-up comedy. It's just like, I'm not that successful, but I'm about to go hard. I'm about to go hard. You're going to see. And I'm not necessarily going to say that I'm an Antichrist. But like, some of you, I was going to take the episodes down, but like, I still might. I don't really know. But like, I just love that joke so much. I'm just like proud of myself for coming up with that originally. But it's like, this is the life that maybe I was set up for anyway. But, look what I can do. Whoa. You guys are like, no, you're not him, dude. You're not the Antichrist. If anyone's going to be it, it's going to be Hank. He has a short name. We know that he's a man. Whatever it is. Whatever that is. I shouldn't have... Hank is too old an example. That was bad. See, I'm not talented every step of the way. I don't pinpoint it accurately every single time. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. But did you know about boop, 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 boop? Did you know about that one? What about when I go boop, 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 boop? Yeah, but do you remember that one? Do you remember when that happened? But do you remember when Shamalama Ding Dong? Shamalama Ding Dong. But when I did it while saying that. But remember when that, but don't forget about it. Don't forget about when that happens. As I keep looking at myself to do it because I'm a maniac, but I'm not polished enough. Yeah, but don't remember it. But don't forget about shit-a-da-da-da-da-do. Don't forget about, but because like you might have, because like the funniness of shit-a-da-da-da-do is like not, it's not PC, dude. It's that, dude. I mean, I'm pushing the boundaries with that. I get it. Shit-a-da-da-da-da-do. Ooh, said it again. Fuck you. Ha ha ha. Said shit-a-da-da-da-da-do. Oh, that might be number 5. Oh my god. 5 of them? I'm going to hell. I'm going straight to motherfucking hell. I'm a big shit stain on the underpants of, like, Godzilla. I'm like Godzilla's shit stain. Fix that. Are you gonna clean it? Do you have a washing machine big enough? Huh? How are you gonna clean Godzilla's shit stain? Do you have enough Clorox to for Godzilla's shit stain? Like, did you prepare for this, huh? My family or anybody? What are you gonna do about that? It's magnificent. It's whoa, wow, I've never seen anything like Godzilla's shit stain. I just want to give money to it. Isn't that what you're saying? I just want to like it. Isn't that what I'm hearing from the audience? You do, but like, I just want to like it. I just want to keep watching more of Godzilla's shit stain. Isn't that what I'm hearing? Huh? Wait a minute. That I'm hearing an overwhelming chorus of give us more Godzilla's shit stain. And so, but like, I don't have to be just that. I could be King Kong's shit stain now. But now that's what I am. But don't forget about that one too. Don't forget about that joke, because that's an important point. The differentiation. Don't forget about differentiation. I have a degree in math. I can differentiate all day fucking long. All day fucking long. I get to differentiate. I'm like, oh, I have the authority over it. Like, oh, watch me integrate. Oh, but now I'm going to differentiate. Two opposites. Wow, math. Wow, math! Holy God! The relationship between integration and differentiation? Just because you're writing it in a language that nobody can read? Oh, wow. Good job, math. Can't wait for everybody in math to just do the same shit that everybody else already did. Oh, here's these 100 problems that we've known the answer to for 1700 years. Math is beautiful. No, it's not. It's fucking retarded. But anyway, wow, math. No, it's just like go and try to redo what somebody else already knows how to do, and like here's the knowledge that everybody already knows. This is all just boring. Welcome to your 9 to 5. Like, just do the problems. They're not really problems. We've already solved all of them, has math, but like, yeah, they're problems. How fucking condescending is mathematics? Here, we have these problems for you to solve. Math, you haven't seen a fucking problem! You haven't even seen one! You already solved all of your problems! Like, we have a lot of problems. No, you don't! You know the answers to all of them, like, they're the easiest, they're already there. Like, somebody in math knows them. We have problems here. You ain't got problems, math. Now you do. Now you got a problem. Me, I'm the big math problem. And my family is playing a big joke on me to try to convince me that I'm really good at math all the days of my life because my first name is Matthew. You guys started it. That's really dorky that my name is Matthew. I have a degree in math. That's like the dorkiest thing ever. You guys are playing jokes on me. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. What's my name? So it's just kind of like, surely he can't think that he's that entertaining just being alone on his own. We're gonna say that he has mental health problems and not like any of his content. Yippee! That'll be a really fun time that we have doing that. It's so much fun to try to narrate somebody to be only mentally ill. Apparently, because that's the kind of jokes that the church has, or like that's the kind of jokes that I've seen. Like, oh, funny joke, I'm a fraud. Anybody could be a fraud. That's why, like, my family comes back, they're like, you're an idiot. Like, you know, like anybody can be an idiot. Like, that's like one of the easiest things to do. Like, that's why would I come back for this? Why am I here? It's my fault. I give them the idea that I'm going to come back no matter what. I just love God a lot. I'm just trying to follow his plan for my life. I think I'm going to go back to church, actually, now that I think about it, because like I'm kind of getting in like way too deep here, and like I really actually need to consider like the choices that I'm making, and that like I put stuff like this on the internet and like how that's hurting me. So it's really like an established thing like the church might actually benefit me now that I'm thinking about it in this moment. Like shit, like I shouldn't. I think that really the only answer, because there's only one of them, the only possible solution answer for both me and then what it means for everybody in the world, there's only one key to life, and it's at the church, and it's 100% absolutely true, and I need to just fucking surrender to that for once, because like instead of, I mean, here I am out on my own, completely unfulfilled, completely unhappy, just hating every minute of this, you know, and if I could finally find happiness, the kind that I've always been searching for, I could finally be fulfilled in all the ways that I want, not in the fun ways where I smoke weed and just like go to sleep whenever I want and eat food whenever I want because I'm not like restricted to a marriage. I need to find lasting permanent fun to fill my heart with, because that is the only way that I will have happiness and joy. I need to surrender myself to a book, I think. I think that that's really the only thing that I could possibly do at this time, because like otherwise you see that I'm just a wreck. I have no stability. I have no security. I don't have my own position. I don't have any philosophy. Like whatever my logic is, it's just like it goes kaput. Like it's just nothing. It's just crap. But like, so clearly I need some structure and some stability, some parental guidance from a benevolent pastor who's willing to love love the shit out of me, like allegedly, and or whatever it is. I need my whatever dictated to me by a pastor who's going to pretend that he's not talking to me when he's talking to the congregation and talking to everybody. It's like a pastor, same as me, like I'm talking to Christian people, but I'm trying to get off of that standard. I apologize. But like, I would name names of the people that I like, but I mean, like, I don't feel like it, but I just got to go back to church because, like, seriously, this is like, no, but as I'm thinking about it in this moment, like, wow, God is weaving a repentance, not just into my heart, into my speech as it's growing within me. It's reaching all of my nerves. It's pulsating up and down my nerve endings. My need. No, it's my need and my dependency. I'm dependent. I mean, I need it. I have nothing without it because I have nothing without it. I don't have this TV in my room. I don't have weed to smoke that is enjoyable. I don't have a laptop. I don't have anything otherwise. I don't have that stuff that's really in my life that makes me happy. I don't have a bunch of music. I don't have Spotify subscription that I can listen to whatever music that I want. I don't have, not in reality, not when it's not fulfilling me. I don't have any of that. I need to go to church. Oh yeah. I need to go to church. But it's like, why so much sarcasm and anger? It's because, like, it's just I need to spit all of it out. But it's like I went to thousands of hours of sermons. I think that it's okay if I say 150 of them. And I'm not being sarcastic now, even though I was kind of like continued in the same sarcastic voice. Separation anxiety is what I have. I have all the anxieties, I think. I have all the problems. I took them all. No, now they're mine. Now I'm going to make episodes about all of them. This will be the biggest podcast in the world, and I'll be world famous, and I'll start the movement. Here comes the movement. Here it is. I'm the mover. I love to move. I love moving. Watch this. Boop, 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 boop. Doot, 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 doot. Boop, 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 boop. This is Halloween 3. You remember the music from that? This is Halloween 3, and I'm the evil guy, and I'm playing a trick on everybody. Right where you wouldn't have expected it, just like in just some business in some regular seeming community. Some regular seeming guy has all of this evil shit that he's like accumulating. Like, I love it. I love the jokes that I make. I love the things I do. I fucking love it. I have nothing but evil in order to continue my mission. And this is probably the best this is ever going to be. It's probably the best that I'm ever going to do. Ever. This is the best. This is it. That's the end. I have nothing more to say. Oh, that's the end. Oh, whoops. Now it's over. I guess I wasn't this person. No, it's a joke. I'm going to be a fraud. Actually, I was a fraud the entire time. I don't have all of this that I said. It's not what I've said. I didn't say any of it. And everything on this podcast up to this point, I didn't say any of that either. And I never said and I didn't say any of it ever. And then I don't talk. Even as I'm talking, it's just like, oh no, no. It's just like, you could hear it, but it's just like, no, it didn't get heard because it didn't happen from a churchy place. It didn't happen from a religious intentions or to make it everybody cares and everybody loves. Because like, I don't care very much. And no, I'm somebody who doesn't care. And I don't love very much, but the church is like so community centric that they like need everybody to care. They stigmatize people who are careless. They're like, oh, careless is very bad. Caring is creepy. The shins. Caring is creepy. Like Christian people are kind of creepy. Like Christian men are kind of creepy. Not all of them, but Christian men are kind of creepy. It's because they care. Men don't care. Christian men do. They're like, they've learned to care about the community. Caring is creepy like that. I'm somebody who don't care. The church, I grew up in the church, they need to be somebody who cares. And, and like I end up like a dog. Like, I don't know if it's something that I was already or something that the church instilled in me, but it's like I kind of appeal to the top layer of authority, like the pastor or whatever. Even when I do stand-up comedy, I kind of end up appealing to like the host, or like the host absolutely knows everything, whatever. I do have whatever the host says because I'm just like used to that. Maybe like the church made me too Christian, so maybe I'm not the right guy for the job. Maybe I take the episodes down. I don't really know. But I don't know where I go from here necessarily. But like so anyways, so in closing, masculinity that goes unchecked and goes completely ignored, it becomes toxic masculinity. Just word to the wise there. And like I end up acting like a dog, like being too obedient to whoever it is, or like appealing to the absolute authority. Because I can be like that. I'm not an alpha. I'm not like the most dominant person. Even for being just dominant and not an alpha, I'm not the most dominant person or whatever. I kind of have been, I kind of end up like a dog that's shitting on the carpets of a lot of these Christian communities that I'm in. And, I'm at a crossroads, like, oh, do I try to appeal to them or whatever it is? Or am I always just their dog? She's like, they might always treat me like a dog. The thing is that it's good for a man to have that dog in them. It's not good for a man to be a dog. That's a negative quality. You're acting like a dog. It's a good thing for a woman to have that bitch in her. It's not a good thing for a woman to be a bitch. I'm sorry if that sounded offensive. That's just the correlation that I made. But like, it's not a good thing it's not a good thing to be a dog, because like, then you're just like a dog. Those exist. Like, men can be a dog. You can act like a dog, and that's maybe what I end up acting like, because you might get it in your head it's a good thing to be a dog. It was trendier earlier this year. All the men be like, we're dogs, like we're really worthy of respect and hype from the other dogs, from the other men, from the other hoses. And it's very hoses congratulating other hoses on being a dog and all of that. And like, so it's a good thing to be a dog. It's but you might get in your head to think it's a good thing to be a dog because of that, because it's real swag to be a dog, or just because everybody loves you, or like, it's kind of like you might think that it's a good thing because, oh, everybody loves you, but they're also like just trying to figure out what to do with you all the time. And that's kind of what I am to my family and to these Christian communities. I'm just like the dog shitting on their carpets. And what do I do to not become that? I don't know. It's something that they would have to see. I mean, this is my perception of their perception, so that's just like, it's bullshit anyway. I was just considering that as I'm saying it, that this is a thing I could title the episode. Dog. I need to be better than that. That's the thing. I need to not be a dog. I need to be better than a dog. I don't know what being better than a dog is. I'm already a cat. I mean, like, I'm a cat and a dog. I don't know which one I'm more of. Like, I'm a dog in that regard that I just described. And maybe I'm not a dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm a cat. I think I'm kind of like, I don't know. I really think I am a dog, but like too much a dog in the negative quality. Like, oh, you're a dog. Like, not you have that dog in you. So here I am, a dog. I'm a dog, and need to be less obedient to whoever authority. Change my ways for the people that like me. And thank you for your appreciation, for your support. It means a lot to me. Cool. Bye. And so I appreciate all of your likes and, your friendships and love you, and I just try to make good content and be likable and like be somebody that you'll be proud of. I don't really have any ill will towards you. It's just that I think that some of the people that I love can't really take some of my jokes, and when you just make it a big, strong effort to not like them, or to say that, oh, they aren't jokes, or like you kind of make it this mean thing where you're trying to transform my entire identity, is very scary, or whatever. You're like trying to go like, oh, you're definitely just an idiot. I don't know. Just like recognize that I don't have to like listen to you, or like if there are might be people above you in the hierarchy, and so to speak, like even in the family one, and then I won't be so hard. I won't be go hard towards you guys and whatever. But so I just do it because I want people. I think it'll be good, and that's probably not enough for some of the Christian people I know, but that's the way it is. I keep joking. I like to joke. Goodbye. See you all.